This non-league striker has a better goal record than Haaland and Ronaldo. So why is he playing in the 8th tier of English football? We're going to find out why, as well as his plans for next season, what makes him so tough to play against, and how he's about to become the country's highest goal scorer for the 2nd season in a row.
Yeah, well, there's still playoff games ongoing and a couple of other seasons to finish, so it's not done, but I'm hoping so.
How many goals did you score last year, and how many have you scored this season?
Last season I got 53. This season I've just finished on 48.
Do you set yourself a target at the start of the season? Because those numbers are absolutely astronomical.
It's always been 30 really, and 30 is a good tally. But yeah, the last couple of seasons I've managed to get to new heights with this club. So 50 is the new target by the looks of things. Yeah.
And what is it about this club which has enabled you to score so many goals?
It's my local club. We've put a lot of hard work into getting promoted, and every game we've been dominating. I'm getting loads of chances. The boys are brilliant. Everything's just married up and allowed me to push on.
When you score so many goals in non-league, the big question is, why haven't you played in the professional game?
Well, I'm at step 3 for a reason, and you know, I'm not the quickest. I'm 34 now, just turned, so I think when I first started playing, living in an obscure area like this, there was no videoing of games, there was, you know, no highlights, no you guys, no YouTube, so things have changed massively. I'm getting loads of interviews like this now. Back then, maybe I might have kicked on if this was all about then, but yeah, I'm happy it's come at this late stage of my career.
What was it like growing up for you? What clubs were you able to play for?
My dad was my manager from when I was 4 till 12, and that was at Margate, across the other side of the island. I stayed there and broke through at the first team when I was 16, under Neville Southall and Terry Orroff, ex-Wales legends. I came to Ramsgate, got some more game time, and I've sort of gone around Sussex, London and Kent and here.
Have you always been a natural-born goal scorer?
Since early days, since I was 5 or 6, yeah, it's what I'm known for. I'm not known for much else, but goals is what comes natural to me, yeah.
Who did you base your game on back in the day, growing up? Who did you idolise?
R9, just his composure in front of goal, step overs round the keeper. He had every type of finish, and I just loved his composure. And then nowadays, I'd say Harry Kane. I love him. I love the way he's so clever with the ball, the way he passes, every type of finish again.
You said you played at step 4 and step 3. You did have a short spell in step 2. Why did that not materialise into anything longer?
When COVID happened, I was top scorer at step 3, and then the season got ended prematurely because of COVID, and sort of all the conference clubs went, right, who's the best players in the league below? And because I was furloughed from my job, I managed to get a full-time football with Ebbsfleet, which was the first time I'd ever been full-time. And then once that COVID situation had ended, I went back to playing the level below.
So did they just ditch you then?
They didn't ditch me, but you know,
Sounds quite brutal.
I was 4th choice striker there behind some really good players, mate. Some really good players.
Who did they have there?
Rakesh Bingham, Don Polian, really good players, and I started the first game I was there and didn't play again. I was there for a couple of months. Also played for Welling and Farnborough at that level briefly as well, which again, the travel to Farnborough from where I live is just...
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How did you find your first taste of professional football?
I walked in, breakfast was made, lunch was made after, your kit's laid out, you don't have to take your training kit home with you, and I thought, is this really how the other side live? Yeah, I loved it. There was really good boys there, and I had a big squad training with 30 players, and you know, when we come training there's 14, 15, and then you go training there's 30, so the whole setup was different, but I think I'll stick to semi-pro.
How did you find the jump up in level?
Hard to adjust to training every day. I'm not naturally the most fittest of players anyway, and all of them boys were ultra fit. Training 2 hours a day and then coming to a match day at the weekend, I found that I was a little bit off the pace, if I'm honest. But ability-wise, I think I was there, but I think the fitness was where I struggled to adjust.
You have played for a club that we really like, Lewes, down south. Fantastic stadium, fantastic pitch. What did you enjoy about playing for Lewes?
First of all, the ground and the people and the fans and the club, the way it's run, their equality and how they base their morals. I just loved the club. And then, yeah, it was my first real club where they got 1,000 fans a game, and I wasn't used to that. So when I first celebrated at the end that you've seen, where all the fans stand, and I was standing there like this, and it was, wow, that made me feel alive. So we've had that here with Ramsgate. Obviously, we've averaged 1,200 this year, so it really motivates you.
As a semi-pro footballer, it must be quite tough then to leave a club like Lewes, because you didn't leave on bad terms. You scored, I think, 70 goals, you said, in 2 seasons. So you were banging in the goals, a great place to play football. So why did you leave and join Ramsgate?
Yeah, the year I left Lewes, I won the Golden Boot in the league above, so I didn't want to step down, but I've got 3 young children under the age of 8. I live in Ramsgate and I was working in London playing football in Brighton, so it was a big triangle of travel. Not that the travel is, the be-all and end-all of it, but I had to look at my family time and just what Ramsgate were building and what they showed me, their plans for the future were very hard to turn that down on your doorstep, and I made the right decision in the end.
Because that's the side of non-league football that a lot of the fans don't see. You are committing to a full-time job, 3 young daughters. You've earned the right to earn a little bit of extra money if you can. That's on your doorstep. Do you find that some fans don't understand that in non-league?
Yeah, because they don't see that whole big picture. But and I agree, if you are performing, you should be paid extra money, but I've not always played for the money. I was down at Lewes on not much money in football terms because of the manager that they had, that I wanted to follow him down there. But yeah, again, I could have got more elsewhere than coming to Ramsgate, and I was here because of the project. They made me captain. I've been front and centre of their promotion push and all of their media, the new kit launch and all the media. They've really made me front and centre. So yeah, it's not all about the money, but again, you should know your value as a non-league player for sure.
When you were at Lewes, talking about Tony Russell, and we spoke to him many times, he's a brilliant, brilliant manager. How important is that relationship between a non-league player and the manager?
Very important, obviously, because when I am balancing family, work and football, it's not like full-time where you have to be there. If I said to him, Gaffer, I'm absolutely shattered, he might give me a night off. What I think for myself, his style of football and the way he plays, and he turned me into a defending attacker in terms of the press, and he changed my game and he made me a lot better, and that is so important to me. The way a manager plays, he made me a much better player, and that's what was important.
You've got a better record than Haaland and Ronaldo when it comes to scoring 100 goals. You did it in 98 appearances. That is a really, really good record, whatever level you're playing at.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, Haaland and Ronaldo, the defenders they're facing, a little bit better than the ones I am, for sure. Yeah, it's taken a lot of dedication physically playing every game at my age. I've 33 last season and 32 the year before. I played every game and I played through injuries. I've really dedicated myself to it. Emotionally, mentally, everything about it. I've been so dedicated to get those numbers, and I'm obsessed with goals. I live goals, I really do, and everything's married up. The club, players they've got in, and the chances they've been creating for me, and I've just been sticking them away.
Have you got a favourite type of finish?
I think at Lewes and Ramsgate, dinking the keeper has been my favourite. I did quite a few at Lewes, maybe 15, and I've done 7, 8 or 9, something like that, dinks over the keeper here. So if I do get one-on-one with the keeper, I like to make them go down and then dink it over the top.
When you made that step down to step 4, how important was it that you got up to step 3 as quickly as possible?
It's always my aim is to play as high as I can. The aim with Ramsgate was we are going up at all costs, and we want to make you at the front and centre of that. So that's what really appealed to me, is that they were pushing for promotion. I love playing for a club with ambition, and I've got so much ambition. I'm self-motivated, so their philosophy was matched mine. I stepped down a level once before to join Cray Wanderers with Tony Russell, and I won the league that year and did really well, and that's what made me a better player. So it's not always about playing the highest level you can, but your overall bigger picture aims, in my opinion, should be to play as high as you can.
So talk to us about this season then, because we visited Sittingbourne. They were on that FA Cup run and the title was so close. You've got 109 points to win the league. How nice was it to have that rivalry with Sittingbourne? We're going neck and neck for the title.
It's one of my old clubs, and I did really well there as well. As a youngster, they treated me really well. So it's a club that's close to my heart, actually. They've got a good manager, a good squad of players again, and it was good. We pushed each other all the way. It just felt like we would win. You'd go inside, check your phone, they've won again. And they were probably thinking the same about us. With the points tally we had, it should have been won ages ago, but it was nice, actually, that it went all the way. It really pushed me to even higher numbers. So
what were the celebrations like?
Crazy. We won on Good Friday at High.
So it became a very good Friday, did it?
It became a very good Friday. A bit too good, because we played our local rivals Margate on Easter Monday and we lost, and everyone was a bit iffy still. So yeah, celebrations were crazy in that clubhouse over there. I think we had 2,000 people, players, fans, staff, all drinking. I don't think I paid for a drinking night. Don't tell the chairman, but yeah, it was really good, mate.
What are the ambitions then, moving into step 3 with Ramsgate.
I'm out of contract now, so I'll talk to the club and see where I stand. I'm the club captain and we've just gone up. I've just broke all the records. I'm the club's leading goal scorer in their history, so I love this club. I'd like to stay, but we'll see what happens. I think the club's aim is to go again, maybe compete at the next level, and I think they can, the size of the crowds they're getting. My personal aims are to play as high as I can.
If people hear that you're out of contract, do you get those texts come through, or do you think the age might put people off?
No, I've had a few already, but I've sort of just knocked them away because, you know, I'm really proud of what I've done here. This is my local club and my loyalty is here. So, but yeah, you know, you never know in football, so you have to keep them options open. And I've spoke to a couple of managers already, and if it was to be that I left here, then I'm sure I wouldn't be short of offers. You know, I've just turned 34. I've played my best football in my 30s. I've scored the most goals in my 30s, so I'm not silly. I know I've only got a couple of years left, but I'm physically in a good place. I've not really had a major injury in my career, touch wood, so I've got a couple of good years left in me before I start winding down, I think.
Why do you think you're playing your best football at the age you are, and why do you think it wasn't when you were 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
I was playing for managers that saw me as a 6'2" striker and thought, let's clip Diag into him and he'll win a header, but I can't jump. I'm not very good at headering.
Don't say that, people won't sign you.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't cut that. Yeah. But no, when I turned 26, I joined Tony Russell, who you know. His teams play on the floor and you press from the front, everything's front foot, turned me into a different animal. I went from 20 goals a season to 30 goals every season. And then also, big shout out to the manager here, Ben Smith. I joined him and I've scored 50 goals a season, and he's a brilliant manager. Again, plays everything on the floor. I've really enjoyed my time, but joining the right manager and also the way I've matured as a person. I wasn't very mature as a young 20 man, and now I've got 3 children, I'm a family man, and you know, yeah, I'm seen as a bit more of a leader in the changing room now. I get a bit more respect and just, yeah, I'm much more mature now.
Do you have any regrets then from your younger years? Looking back at it now, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
I was always a good player, but I've never gone to the gym. People my age back then that went on to make it pro, as it were, they were in the gym every day working on themselves. I didn't really work on myself back then, so I've kept myself in better nick these days, but I don't have regrets. No, I don't, because I've had a good non-league career. Pro football isn't for everyone, you know. I've got a lovely family, I've got a good job, which I don't take for granted because football doesn't last forever. I've had a really good non-league career where I don't know if anyone's got more Isthmian goals than me in history, so you know, there's something to be said for that as well.
When you look back on your career now, what are you most proud of?
I think you're judged on your stats as a striker. My stats speak for themselves, so yeah, and obviously the promotion with my hometown club whilst being captain, that's just happened. I think that will probably go down as my proudest moment. And like you said at the start of the video, the 2 non-league awards of the highest goal scorer in England, I think that's maybe the most prestigious personal accolade I can get. So to do that back to back, again, I'm not sure if anyone's ever done that before. So
who tells you that you've done that?
I had an article in the non-league paper Sunday just gone. One of their guys called Matt Baldock rang me and he said, you're winning at the moment, but there's a lad at Macclesfield who's on 40 and you're on 48. There's a couple of others that are floating around 40 as well who were in playoffs. So, you know, it's not done, but I was a few ahead at last weekend.
We spoke to a lad called Jake Tabor who was at Amersham Step 5 and our video did crazy numbers. Yeah. He's young, he's raw, but what would be your advice to these young lads coming through? Because non-league strikers get noticed so much now.
They do, yeah, they do, especially at a young age like that lad. I watched that video, great video. My advice would be become obsessed with scoring goals. I'm not saying if your team wins and you haven't scored, sit in the changing room sulking, but I'm saying be obsessed with scoring goals. How do you get your chances? Figure out how your wingers play and how you're going to get goals off them. Like you see the Man United forwards, as soon as Bruno gets it, they're on the move because they know they'll get a chance off it. Figure out your movements from each player and make your weak foot a strong point of your game.
You good on your weak foot then?
I scored quite a lot of goals in my left. I'm not good with my head, but left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter.
Top man. Cheers, Joe. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.